Welcome to the New Age Sales Champion podcast hosted by Srinivasan and Pascal. We help coaches and sales professionals to close more sales by handling objections like a champ using the New Age selling techniques. In today's episode, we are going to talk about sales strategy, how to close without actually selling. Now, in this episode, you are going to discover the sales strategy which will help you make more sales without actually selling. By the end of this episode, you will be equipped with the exact steps which will enable you to close more predictably. So stay tuned, stay till the end so you get the maximum benefit from this episode. Why do salespeople struggle to have consistent sales? So, by answering the question, no, we take you to the probably the old age selling strategies briefly. This is because people still use the old age strategies, old age selling strategies, which are more focused on pitching, presenting your product and talking about features and benefits more, which do not work anymore in the new age. So we will dive into the steps which can actually you can implement in your sales process to close more consistently. So coming to the actual steps, the first step what you have to focus on is when you get on a sales call, you have to make the connection with the prospect. So we can also call it connecting with the prospect.
Right.
So what it means to actually connect with the prospect. See, you are trying to build a rapport by asking some personal questions. Okay, this is what most sales people are doing, and that is not the right way to do, because your prospect has booked and come on your call, maybe through some ad, or he has gone through your funnel and booked the call. That is for a reason. He has a problem, he has a pain, he wants a solution, and he feels that you may be able to provide him that solution. So he is not interested in talking about the weather in his place, or what is happening on his family. It doesn't care. No, that way you cannot really actually build a relationship. If that is what you are thinking, then you're wrong. So instead of that, what you need to be actually asking is, what made them come on a call with you? What made them book the call with you? Then when you ask them, they will tell you why they booked the call. So
Right.
is it something what you have experienced, Pascal?
Yeah, I think we both, when we first got into sales, we both started out trying to build rapport a lot, like spending 5 minutes to 10 minutes with your prospects on the phone, asking them where they're from, how they are, how's the weather, how's family, and where do they go for vacation, and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, but it didn't lead us anywhere, and it just wasted a lot of time on those calls, right? What are your thoughts?
Yeah. Actually, this is what exactly I was doing when I used to get on these calls initially. And some of the prospects, they're happy to chat. I
Yeah,
don't know.
true.
It happened to me like that. But then, it takes so much time of, one is you waste your time in that.
Yeah.
And this is what most salespeople do. And they know when you are trying to build a rapport That means like you are trying to be like any other salesperson,
Yeah.
and that raises some sort of a trigger, some sort of a resistance. Oh, this fellow is trying to build a relationship with me, trying to make me like him so that he can pitch his product. You understand?
Yeah.
So that's not what you want to do. What you want to do is, like act like a friend, who has a
Yeah.
genuine interest in them. Suppose a friend, calls you, even though he is very well known to him,
Hmm.
what you would actually, nobody calls you without a purpose, even though he is a friend of yours.
Yeah.
And definitely when somebody, even when your close friend calls you, he is called for something, he wants something from you. No, that is what you need to ask. When you ask that, it's like talking to a friend.
Yeah.
Then they and be use a language which is very neutral. Don't talk about you, talk about the prospect. Don't say, oh, I have a product which can solve your problem. What are you doing there? You really do not know, actually,
Yeah.
whether they have a problem which you can solve, and you just try to pitch. So, people don't like that.
Yeah.
But when you actually connect with them, trying to be a friend, and trying to understand why they came on the call, what their pains are, then the prospect is more open to you. You establish a relationship, and
Yeah.
a trust starts developing. Remember,
Yeah.
if you get this thing wrong, so you have actually spoiled your chances of making a sale right from the beginning.
Right.
So there is no point then going ahead with your call. So this is a very, very important phase, connecting with your prospect.
Yeah.
Probably
And
you have also had the same experience, Pascal.
yeah. And you will know when you spoiled the sale when they give you like 1 or 2 word answers or like one sentence and that's it. They don't really expand on what they said. They just say, like, give you 1 word answers. How's the weather? Good. What made you
Yeah,
reach out? I saw
yeah,
this. That's it. So then you know you triggered something that doesn't make them open up to you.
exactly, exactly.
Right.
So this was the first step, how to make a connection with the right way to make a connection with the prospect. So you start showing yourself authority, and you start creating that trust and relationship with your prospect. Now,
Yeah.
coming to the step number two, and this is next important phase of your call. This is actually, you know, discovering your prospect's current state. Okay, here what you need to do is you need to first find out where your prospect is in his probably in his business or in his life.
Mm.
It's very important to know this, because just let me give you an example. uh, Suppose somebody wanted to move from, say, New York to California, or say they
Yeah.
just said, I want to go to California. So if you do not know where that person is, for all you know, he may be situated in New York, or he may be currently talking to you from Antarctica.
Yeah.
These are two different things. It's a big difference. Moving from New York to California requires, it may be more easy. You just need to know where you have to move to the nearest airport and catch a flight and go. But in Antarctica, it's far away. It's far
Yeah.
away. It requires different logistics. So only if you know where your prospect is currently, then only you can understand whether, how to actually help your prospect with your product or solution. So it's very important to know the current stage. So that is, we try to understand the problems they are facing. It may be in their business or life, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And that is the first step,
Yeah.
finding their current situation, how long they have been in that situation. Okay.
Yeah.
And
This
so yeah.
it also ties into our gap, right? If we don't know where they are right now and where they want to go, which we'll come to in the next step, we don't know how big the gap is. And If you don't know what gap is, go back and watch our previous episodes where we explain it a bit more in depth. Right, so the next step in this process, after you now understand their problems, you need to dig deeper into the root cause of the problem, because most of the time, you know, it's like an onion. Just think of an onion for a second, right? They will give you the most outest layer of the onion. This is their answer. So you have to rip off the layers of the onion to really get to the cause, the root cause of the problem, that is causing them the pain they are feeling right now, which is what a lot of people do wrong, and we did wrong. And we were wondering, why do we always get objections at the end of the call? Until
Yeah,
we found out we didn't dig deep into the root cause of the problem. And what we mean by that is really the emotions, right? Because we learned people don't buy because of logical reasons. It's an emotional decision and they justify it with logic. So if you haven't engaged their emotions in this phase, in the upcoming phases, you're doing something wrong.
yeah, yeah.
You,
That's exactly what you need to be doing. Once you found that problem, dig deep into the root cause of the problem. That is, as Pascal, as you explained, Pascal, peeling off the layers of the onion till you
yeah,
get the root cause. And why finding the root cause is important. Because if you don't get to the root cause, if you are on the surface,
hmm,
which is not the problem your prospect is actually facing, and if you
yeah,
try to solve that problem by your solution, no, the prospect is not interested, so he won't buy
yeah,
from you. So you have to hit at the real problem which he is facing, and what that problem is causing to him. What are the
yeah,
pains he is undergoing? So, like you said, Pascal, the emotions are important. So you have to
hmm,
find out how this pain is affecting them, how it is affecting them, how is affecting their family, what is the impact it's having on them.
yeah,
That's very, very, very important to establish that gap. So, and the
right.
next thing you need to do is actually, you need to find out what is stopping them from actually finding a solution to the problem.
Hmm,
This is where your expertise or your solution will actually provide a fill the gap for them.
yeah,
So there may be many reasons why they couldn't solve that problem. If you understand that, and then that is where you can match your solution to the actual problem. Very, very important step.
yeah. It's like,
You agree with me? Yeah.
yeah, it's like this step, this discovering the current state, and the next step we go through is like at least 50-60% of the call.
You need to spend the maximum time in finding out these problems of your customers.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah,
let's go to the third step of your
right.
call. Once you found out that current problems and how it is the root cause of the problem and what pain it is causing and how they feel about it, next you have to find out what goals actually they want to reach.
Yeah,
Okay. It could be a financial goal or it could be life goals, some amount of money they want to make, reach for whatever they want to do in life, have a better life for themselves. When you actually find out their goals, understand their goals, and what it is they feel like when they would actually be achieving those goals. This is very important to understand. Again, uh, like you said, Pascal, the emotions are very important.
yeah,
So when they feel how they will feel, I mean, when they tell you how they feel about when they reach that goal, the future state,
yeah,
it actually you are actually making them understand how to move where the pains are and there is the pleasure which they want.
yeah,
So when you move people from away from the pain towards pleasure, you are actually making a change. I mean, the prospect is actually making a change. There's a transformation which is having, and your prospect is really interested in that change or the transformation.
Yeah.
So,
And
yeah,
it leads back to what we said about the gap, right? Now we have the current state and we have the future state, right? Now it depends on what goals they have. Is it a like a small gap? Is it a big gap? But you don't know until you find those things out. And what you're doing here is essentially called future pacing. You make them see how their future life would look like if they achieve
exactly.
their goal.
Yeah,
Right.
very, very important. So when you increase this gap, this is what is that all the gap selling is about, which we also talked in our first episode and second episode.
Yeah.
The more the gap you increase, you're actually creating a massive urgency in the mind of the prospect.
Yeah.
I know that is when he's actually looking for a change.
Yeah.
He wants to change. So this is the very important step. So once you have created this gap and the urgency in the mind of the prospect, so what do you do next? So that is when you go to the step number 4. Okay, that is the cost of inaction.
Hmm.
So this is actually you're making the prospect to commit himself to make a change. So how do you actually do that? When you ask him about what will be the consequences of staying where he is right now and
Yeah.
not doing anything about about the situation, maybe for the next 6 months or next 12 months, you know so what happens is the prospect starts thinking what will happen actually,
Yeah.
and then he tells the situation is, most probably he'll tell you that his situation is going to become worse, or probably remain almost the same without any change, and that is something
Yeah.
he doesn't want, because he has seen what will actually give him pleasure, what will actually
Yeah.
satisfy him.
And he wouldn't
So
be on a call with you if he would be satisfied with the situation.
exactly, then he would say, no, 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 I want to make the change now.
Yeah.
So that is how you get the commit from the prospect to change now, not change after 6 months or
Yeah.
12 months or a year or two, because you need to make a sale now, not after 6 months, after 12 months.
Mm.
So this cost of inaction, it's a very powerful thing, but you need to know how to ask the questions in the right way.
Yeah.
So this reiterates the prospects, the uh, urgency what you created. So now
Hmm.
he is ready to make a change right now and not later.
Yeah. He doesn't want, you just made him realize if he doesn't do things to improve his life, it will be the same in 6 or 12 months, or even worse. And they don't want that. They want to, like we discussed earlier, they want to get away from pain towards pleasure. So
Exactly,
now you made
exactly.
them see it. Oh God, I don't want this to happen. I need to do something right now.
Absolutely, absolutely. So once you have got the commitment, so what do you do next?
Step
Yeah,
five.
it is. Yeah, it is the step 5, permission to pitch. Now you remember we actually told you you can make a sale without selling.
Yeah.
So, but why do we pitch here? See, you have to present your solution. Otherwise,
Yeah.
what will the prospect buy? But here, what we are doing is we are actually asking the permission to pitch. We are asking the
Yeah.
permission from the prospect to actually present our solution.
Why
So
do we do that?
because there's an, yeah, we do that because now the prospect is ready to buy. Okay, and it is his decision, it's not our decision.
Yeah.
So when the prospect wants, so when you ask the permission, he most likely will agree for us to make the presentation. And remember, if you feel that your product or service will not address their problem, then please do not
Mhm.
pitch.
Yeah,
Not everybody will buy from you, and that is okay.
true.
So now, when you come to the presentation, what most salesmen from the using the old method do is they start talking about all the products features and benefits, and
Yeah,
telling them this will help you solve this problem, this will help you no, the prospect is not interested in knowing all about all your features and benefits. So
yeah,
what you do exactly is you talk only about those features and benefits which will actually solve the current pain he's having, current problem he's having.
right.
And how does that make the prospect feel when you do that, Pascal?
Yeah, like it will make them feel like your service, your product is tailored for their needs, right? It's
Ex-
made for
ex-
them.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah. And that is what we want. We
Yeah,
want the
and
prospect to feel that we have a solution tailor made to his problem to solve his problem.
yeah,
And he will be very excited, to have that solution which can solve his exact problem, so that he can move away from the pain to pleasure.
yeah. Yeah, just to give you an example of that, like what we do here is prescribing the solution to his problems rather than describing what the old way of selling is. Just think about you go to a doctor, right? You have certain problem. Maybe you have back pain. So you go to a doctor, you tell the doctor about your back pain, and he starts describing, yeah, take this medication, it will do this and this and this and this and this and this for you, but you don't care, you just want your back pain problem solved, right? So does your doctor do instead? He just says, okay, I understand your problem is this, so I will give you medication that will do exactly what that will do exactly this exact solution for your problem, and you'll be like, oh my god, he knows exactly what I want, what I need, right?
Yeah.
So
and
this
and
is
and
what we're
that's
doing.
yeah, that's exactly what a doctor does. When you go to a doctor, he asks you a series of questions to understand what exactly your problem is, and then he diagnoses, because you know
Yeah,
your problem better than the doctor. So
yeah,
when he asks you the questions, probes you deep, and then he understands what your actual problem is, then he is able to prescribe the right solution for you, and
exactly.
you are very happy, that you have got the right medicine for your problem. That's
Yeah,
exactly what happens in a sales call. You have done all
exactly.
the steps. You have made the connection, built the trust, you have discovered his problem, and you have understood where he wants to go. You have
Yeah,
increased the gap from the pain to the pleasure, and then you have tailor made a presentation which the solution exactly matches to his problem.
yeah,
So now you have a very high probability of closing the sale, and if you can handle just a few genuine objections, probably it may be some type of logistical objections which you can definitely help, and the prospect will actually accept your help in solving those issues. So Pascal, now do you think that this, if people follow this process step by step, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, so will they be closing more, or they will remain in the same situation?
yeah, it depends. When you're doing this already, there won't be
Yeah,
much of a change, but like if you're using more old school techniques where you're pitching a lot,
exactly.
when you don't find out a lot about your prospect, you ask them a question, what struggles do you have right now? They will tell you their struggles, but those are not their real struggles. You try and solve those struggles, like you mentioned earlier. They don't feel like you're solving their problem. This is just a surface level you scratched. No in depth,
Yeah.
no core. You don't know the core problem they have. So when you do this, when you apply those steps, then you will have a massive increase of your close rate, massive increase of sales. And I guess you want that if you're watching this video, right?
Yeah, sure. I hope you're listening, you're stayed till the end of this episode and you got value from this. And when you start having this kind of mindset of a new, using the new sales techniques like we described in the steps, step 1 to 5, I'm sure it will make a change in your closing rates.
Yep.
And we wish you happy selling.
Yeah, and if you like this video, then please subscribe to our channel, hit the subscribe button below and the notification bell to see whenever we publish a new episode. And please drop a like this video, drop us a comment. What was your biggest takeaway? What do you want to see from us in future episodes? And if you want to get more training from us, we have a free Facebook group called the Sales Champions. And please go to Facebook and join the group Sales Champions. Yeah, thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Take care.
Sure.
Bye.
Bye.